And we are back, guys, for the 5th race of the Nations Cup. We're a bit late to be uploading these, but stick with it. Watch this, guys. Absolutely brilliant race. And what we do here, we're going to start off with the qualifiers. So as you can see, we're in the Red Bull cars, super quick cars. And we're going to go through now. This is the first attempt. And as you can see, we're in 11th at the moment after the first try. We go up to 5th, which isn't too bad. And this is our second try. Really fast lobby as well. This is like just under the A pluses. So really quick drivers. And we go up to 4th there, so not a bad time at all. And then as you'll see on the final attempt right here, we're in 6th place, so we've been pushed back a little bit there. We end up in 6th place, so we qualify in 6th, which ain't too bad, to be honest. As long as we push, then hopefully we can get a good result out of this race. Top 5's always the one that we want to go for, but anything better than that will be a podium. As you can see, AS drivers, all really good racers. What we're going to do here, we start off on medium, so you have to use each compound throughout the race, racing hard, racing mediums and racing softs. We start off on racing mediums, then we do racing softs, and we finish on racing hard. So let's see if that works out for us, guys. As always, I will be interjecting throughout the video certain parts, so do watch through to the end. We have got different views as well. Don't forget to hit that like button and also hit that subscribe button. Thank you to everybody who subscribed and showed support. Very much appreciated. And let's get into this race, guys.
And as you're about to see, this first lap gets off to a crazy start, guys. As I said, this is entertaining race throughout, so make sure you stick with it all the way to the end. We appreciate you guys. Let's go, let's get this. And as you can see, guys, with the power of these cars and the speed you're going, there's literally no room for error. And we just avoided at the end of the last lap a near-on crash. And we've also been able to, by lap 3, build back up to 4th place. I'm not sure what everybody else is using. Probably the best one to do is racing hards, racing mediums, and then end on the fastest compound. But we tried something different. So let's see how this race works out. So 6 laps in now, and as you can see, we are making up ground on the car in front. We're also pulling away from the car behind, which I would expect they're on racing hards then. So what we've got to do is try and push these mediums for as far as we can. Just keep pushing, keep trying to make up the ground. As you can see, it just takes one mistake with the power and the speed of these cars and we'll be right on third's tail. So let's see how this goes, guys. So as you can see, we are right on their tail now, and they must be on a slower compound because we're just catching up with them. And just watch this little incident here which costs us time. Obviously I'm pushing, I'm trying to get past the car. They should tell really a little bit that I'm on the faster compound, and we end up hitting them, knocking them off. And we do the right thing, we hold back and carry on to the race. Got a little bit of damage on the front as well. But what's happened now is we've allowed 5th and 6th and 7th maybe to make that gap smaller from behind and close it up, so they're basically not far behind us now. And we're just going to keep pushing, and this guy in front, try and get the overtake into the next lap and just keep pushing as hard as we can, faster and faster. So we're almost halfway through the race now, and as you can see up in front on the top left there on the screen, the guys in front are around 7 seconds, maybe a little bit more in front. First is definitely a bit more in front than that. So they're obviously on a fast compound. I would have said they probably started on the racing softs, or they could be on the racing mediums like me, pushing. But as you can see as well in the bottom left near the car there, our tyres are really worn out, really wearing now. And when they drop below 50%, they basically become hard to handle, and especially with this power as well, it just wants to kick out. Look, as you can see, losing the back end there. So we just got to try and keep it steady, consistent, and try and make up the ground on these guys. So coming up to the end of the 16th lap now, and as you can see, the guy in first was on the same compound as us, and they're pitting in. We're also going to pit in as well. These tyres are worn right down. We're going to end up having an accident if we carry on them. The guy who was in second has stayed out, so maybe at this point, looking back on the race, we should have changed to racing hards, done maybe 3 laps and finished on the softs, but we went out on softs. As you can see, for people who are pitting in at different times, we've lost a couple positions there, but we're on the fastest compound now, so time to push and try and do as good as we can up until the next time we have to pit, to keep chasing these guys, so that you don't really find out until the last 3 laps where everybody's sitting, because everybody needs to pit. So let's see how this works out, guys. And I mentioned with the incident that I had in the last one where I hit that car and I had to slow up. The guy who's in front can see how much we're pushing, so really they should back off. Just like this red car, they could tell we was on the faster compound. They're on a slower compound. What is best for them to do is drop behind and try and get into our slipstream, because we are on the faster compound, which then in turn makes them go faster and makes them quicker. As you can see, Big M there is pitted in off of the hard, so they chose hard and we chose soft. So as again, in hindsight, maybe we should have done 1 or 2 laps in the hards and back out onto the softs, finish the race on the softs. But you can't tell in the race. You do what you do, you try and push as hard as you can, and as you can see here, we're in second. We're not in a bad position. We've got third behind us, almost 2 seconds behind, which again in these cars is nothing. As you can see, that car's 1 second in front. We're basically on their tail, and we're just going to keep pushing now and try and get as far away as we can. But as we do know, the guys behind now, some of them are on racing soft, so we're going to end the race on the slower compound. So if we don't push as hard as we can right now, we're going to drop positions in the final laps of the race. And I just want to say once again, I take my hat off to all the people that I've been in the races with. 99% of the races I've raced with in this cup, as you can see, the guy goes wide there. Sorry, just going off. 99% of the races involved in this cup were clean, fair races. We don't mind it getting a little bit competitive and rubbing shoulders, as long as you're not doing nothing dirty. And the point I'm making that off is because this guy in front has, over the last 4 laps, has kept me at bay, has been quick enough to keep me behind and done the job they need to do, basically. As you can see, our racing softs are getting really low now, really on the limits for racing softs. As I said, when it gets under halfway, they just start to slip and become really hard to race on, especially with the power of these cars. So we're just going to keep pushing. Let's see how these final few laps go, guys. So we're coming up to the last laps now, and as I said, this guy's been able to keep me at bay, keep me behind, and we're pushing as hard as we can, especially with the tyres we've got. Make a small mistake there, and there we go, we're off. And as you can see, Big M, who did the opposite, so did racing mediums, then racing hards, racing softs, it's gone past, especially with that mistake, didn't help, which puts us back a bit. Now we've got 4th place behind us now, within a second, basically on our tail. We're not sure what compound they're on, but we just got to keep pushing, try and keep as many positions as we can. We're going to pit in at the end of this lap, change to racing hards, finish the race like that, and just see where we end up, guys. So we exit the pit in 5th place, and as I mentioned at the start of the video, we didn't want anywhere less than a 5th place. 5th place is where we wanted to be at the minimum. Get a top 5, which is a nice, good run, especially for a long race like this, where you have to use all the compounds. As I said, you're not sure until the latter part of the race, the final few laps, where you're going to end up. Maybe someone in front needs to pit in still, we're not sure. We just got to keep watching and hope that they pit in and we can take advantage of that. If not, just keep pushing, keep it clean, consistent racing, and just try and finish here. 5th place would be absolutely amazing. So as you can see, someone did pit in, but I think because of that mistake when we was pushing too hard and we came off, you can see them just up in front. It's not far at all. It's last lap. Maybe if we'd have not made that mistake, we'd have been a little bit closer to them, maybe been able to get fourth out of this race. But as I said, happy with 5th place if this is where we end up. Brilliant run, few mistakes, no penalties, so just a bit of driver error, and maybe the changing of the tyres. Should have gone racing mediums, racing hards, racing softs, but you learn for the future races. That's how we do it next time. So let's finish this race out, see where we come, and let's get this top 5 position. So there you have it, guys. 5th place, and not an easy race at all. As I said, you got to use all the compounds. End up in 5th, so 1 place up from where we qualified. Not bad at all. I think if we, as I said, we didn't make the tyre change mistake or the running wide and coming off the track, could have possibly even got a 3rd, possibly a podium, but we're happy with that. We're going to congratulate the winner, congratulate everybody else as well. Brilliant from everybody. Everybody raced clean. Well done to everybody. And please, guys, if you've watched till this far, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Also hit that like button, and we will catch you in the next race. Look out for the last race of this, which is coming up. Take care. Good luck, guys.